Yo, what's going down? It's your boy King Spence, and welcome back to the Tulsa Progression Podcast, where we talk, teach, and learn Tulsa music. And remember to give your opinion, because here, your opinion matters. Now, for our fourth segment of today's podcast, I got a very, very, very special guest for you all. Today, we're going to be chopping it up with the label. So I'm going to give y'all a brief introduction before I introduce my guest on. This person who we'll be talking to today is the First Lady of Inglewood. She has represented some of my favorite artists, some of your favorite artists behind the face of Atlantic Records over the years. She's a colleague of mine for over 5 years. She's a commissioner, agent, advisor, scout, artist, creator. Hey, y'all, give it up for Lady T. What's going on, T?
Hey, y'all. Hey, Spence. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to interview you. I'm proud of everything that you're doing. You know what I mean?
Man, I'm so happy that I was able to get you on here. I was fighting for it. I know you're busy, so, man, I'm glad you made time for this to all work out so that we can get dope content. But, man, I know you're busy, so we're going to jump straight into it. So the very first thing that I want to talk to you about is just like your experience with working at the label. So tell us a little bit about some of the labels that you have worked for.
So the labels I work for Sony Music Group. I work for Warner Music Group, and I also work for Universal Music Group. So that's all three major labels. You know what I mean?
So at these labels like Sony, Warner, what are some of the titles that you held at those companies?
A&R coordinator, executive assistant to the president. I only assist presidents. Like, I'm not downgrading anybody that's not a president, but if I'm gonna be side by side with you, like, I definitely gotta soak in knowledge from the person that's at the very top. You get what I'm saying? So I worked as an assistant to the president. I worked as A&R coordinator, and I also worked as a marketing manager.
Okay, so what are some of the roles that something like, assistant for the president or, the coordinator roles? What's some of the things that you are tasked to do?
Well, working for an assistant to a president, you got to make sure that everything just moves 100% smooth for them. You know what I mean? Like, They got to have the easiest day ever. So, of course, it's answering their phones. Of course, it's putting stuff on their schedules. It's making sure that transportation for meetings and flights and all of that is on board. It's also making sure that they meet their deadlines. So everybody, like, they're sending stuff over. I got to make sure that the president is actually seeing it, reviewing it. We're also approving budgets. So I'm reviewing expenses, stuff like that. So I'm not saying that you want to be on my good side. You know what I mean? But if you want to get to that president, it's definitely coming through me. So you can reach out and you want to schedule a meeting. If me and you don't get along, who knows if you're going to get that meeting? Because I may just be like, oh, yeah, they're busy. Oh, yeah, it's no available time right now. Oh, yeah. Or if I love you, like, I could just jump you up to the top, Yeah,
that's right.
And it depends on your relationship with that president. Every president that I worked with, we worked together. Like, I never say I work for somebody. I work with somebody. That's right. So we work together. We're a team. And when you're a team, of course, they're going to ask for my opinion the same way I ask for their opinion. Right. So not only that, I personally feel that working side by side with a president, although one thing I want people to know is that I'm not going to say there's no room for growth. And the reason why I say that is because it's like you can't move up to be the president. You get what I'm saying? Right. There's no way. You're not going to move up. You can move out, but you're not going to move up to that position. But one thing I will say is that working with the president, you get to build so many relationships with other high up executives. So not only that, you get to see hands-on everything that's going on in other departments, because at the end of the day, they all have to report to that president. That's right.
Yeah. And this relationship that I have with T is special. One, because the very first time that I've ever been inside of a record label was because you took me into Atlantic and let me check out the office, meet some of the people that you work with. That was dope to just go in there and see, like Nipsey Hussle, CD, and just all those famous people just like right there. And it's like, that's where you were working at. So, that was special to me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you was able to experience that. You know what I mean? Because even like with me growing up, I always wanted to get inside that building.
Exactly.
So with me being an artist, like my very first job was a receptionist at a record label. And my friends would be like, why you want to be a receptionist? And to me, it was like, yo, I'm gonna be a receptionist. Everybody that come through those doors, they gotta walk past me.
That's
Everybody
right.
that call, they gotta talk to me first. So when I say my Rolodex, like I got everybody's number, I got everybody's number. I was literally going through my phone probably like a couple of months ago, and I ran across Aretha Franklin's number, and I'm like,
that's
what
crazy.
the hell? Yeah.
See, I wanted to roll out some of the people who I know that you work with, but I ain't want to disclose that I don't know if it could be disclosed or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, keep going. Okay, so like the artists I work with, like I'm from the West Coast, of course. You said it right. Inglewood.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I'm from the West Coast. I'm from California. Working at Atlantic Records, I basically work with all the West Coast artists. So I worked with Roddy Ricch, of course, when he first got signed. OT Genesis, you know what I mean? They have Ty Dolla $ign on their roster, Joe Moses, stuff like that. And then the thing too is that with me being an artist, one reason that I worked at the label is because I want to gain all the knowledge, so then I could also help my friends that's not inside of those buildings and help independent artists. So an independent artist that I worked with that did very well is J Stone. So working with J Stone. Shout out to J Stone. Working with J Stone, I was able to get him number 2 on iTunes, you know, and that's big for independent artists. We got our strategy. You know, I don't know if he's telling people the strategy, which I'm going to keep like closed mouth, but we got our strategy and how to do it, you know? But I just say all this to say, you get inside those labels, you learn everything that you could possibly learn, and you just go and you be able to help your friends. That's what makes me feel good.
That's right.
Because my friends are able to do it on a major scale without having to sign to a major label, you know?
All right, so that's what's going to drive my next question is like here in Tulsa, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much it's a way smaller market, obviously, than it is out there in LA. But one thing that is kind of a big deal is when you got a local artist that's like almost offended by the term local, you know what I'm saying? But I want to know, with you being a big city girl, what is the difference between a local artist and an industry artist? Like what separates, what is the actual thing that separates local from industry?
What separates is where you're known at. You know what I mean? So hold on one second. It's where you're known at. So if you're only known locally, you have to get known globally because you're only going to have local success. You know what I mean? You have to get known in other regions, in other areas. And the way to do that, well, a way that I would suggest for people to do that is to start doing collaborations with other big local artists in other places.
That's dope.
So just say so it's like everybody has a local celebrity. You get what I'm saying? Every city has a local celebrity that's popping in a city. So you have to find that other artist that's popping in another city and y'all collaborate and y'all do songs together.
And just
when you go to that city now, and if you could do it from every city to city to city, that's all you need. And you're going to end up being known worldwide without the label because you was on every local artist's project.
Right. So you've been behind the stage, you've been behind the scenes at the label. One thing I want to know is, do you have to be famous to be rich and successful in music?
Well, it depends on what your definition of success is, you know?
Right.
So the question was, do you have to be famous to be rich and successful? You don't have to be famous to be rich and successful.
In the music industry, though.
In the music industry, no, you don't have to be famous to be rich and successful. You can be a local artist and still be successful if you got those streams going. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So when I say successful, I'm gonna put a number on it. I'm gonna say 100 bands a year off of music. Can you do that without being famous, like Grammys and stuff like that?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I know a lot of independent artists that's making over $100,000 a year, and they're local artists.
And that's like all music-based revenue? Like
it's all music. It's based off streams. They have less than 500,000 followers on Instagram. Yeah. You know what I mean? less than that, but they're consistent with putting out music.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
So you have to be consistent with putting out the music.
So as far as record labels go, do major labels offer the best record deals?
The best record deals are based upon what your attorney negotiates. So every artist has the opportunity to negotiate their contract. When a contract is given to you, it's the standard contract. It's up to your attorney to redline things, to point out things, to ask for more. It's up to you on what you accept. So when I hear stories about contracts that artists have signed, I'm not saying that, oh, there's no sympathy for them at all. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you did have the option to sign or not sign, and you decided to sign. But what I will say is that in the beginning stages, when these artists sign, they don't have the money to go out and get these high paid attorneys. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if they're having their attorney friend look it over. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So you want to have the best person possible look it over. But here's another thing that I will say that I know from experience. A lot of attorneys are friends with the labels. So I say that to say you may go get an attorney, but this attorney is friends with the labels. So of course the attorney is going to do what's in the label's best interest. And you won't know that. Yeah. You won't know that. I've also seen it where there have been times where the label will discourage you from keeping your original manager. So many people will be like, oh yeah, artists get on, as soon as they start popping, they leave their original management team. But you don't know that it was somebody inside of the label that kept encouraging to leave your ass, you know?
Yeah.
Because you didn't know the business. You didn't know the business. Yeah. You was just they homeboy from the beginning that was able to put money up, but you didn't know the business side of things. Right. You get what I'm saying? So it's a fine line between being loyal to that person and making the proper business move. Yeah. You know? Okay. Maybe you could keep that person on as a road manager, because a road manager and a real manager is two totally different things. Yeah. You know?
And see, it's so much
I will say that you have the opportunity to negotiate an agreement. If you don't like what's in that agreement, you don't have to sign it. You can take that contract and you can go to another label and say, hey, this is what record label A offered me. Can you top this? That's right. And then you just get into a bidding war. You know what I mean? So all you really need to do is get that first contract. And then you can start going to other labels and be like, hey, such and such gave me this contract. Can you beat this? Yeah. Such and such gave me these numbers. Can you top that? You know?
See, it's so much more that we can dive in just from what you just now said. But I got this list and I'm going to try to get through this, but I got to get you on here for another one just based off of that answer.
I could definitely come back. Yeah.
But, so the media and, you know, like hip hop, they always make it seem like record labels are like the devil. Are they the devil?
I won't say that record labels are the devil. Okay. But I will say that you need to research and you need to know as much as you possibly can before you get excited about signing a record deal, because it's all business. That's right. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to lay it all down on the line so you know what you're getting yourself into. Yeah. I've worked with artists that had I'm not going to say major success, but I've worked with artists that had a lot of success before signing to the label. That's why the label wanted them, because they had so much success independently. Right. Well, doing things independently versus doing things the way a major does, it's two totally different things. As an independent artist, maybe you want to put out music every Friday, and that's what was working for you. Mm-hmm. With a major label, if we say, nah, that next single ain't coming, that next single ain't coming. If we say we don't like the artwork, we don't like the artwork. If we don't like the song you pick, we ain't putting no money behind that marketing. So you're no longer in control. So what I would say is, you're no longer in control. What I would say is, if you were able to get your own bank loan, because that's basically what a label is. They give you that money to be able to do whatever. But remember, you're not doing whatever. You know what I mean? You just now have the money to shoot videos. Maybe you didn't have money before. But if you're able to get a bank loan, if you're able to fund your own project, I would definitely continue to fund my own project, and I would get a distribution deal.
Wow, great segue, because that's the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the difference between all these different type of deals. So I did a little research before I called you, and I see that there are like 10 different deals just off rip that you can get. And what is a distribution deal?
Well, a distribution deal is basically where you get to keep your masters. You own your masters. We don't pay for any of the A&R side. And when I say A&R side, we're not paying for your beats. We're not helping you get beats. We're not putting songs together. We're not paying for studio time. We're not paying for any of that. All a distribution deal does is help distribute the music and help with promotion.
Okay.
Promo and marketing.
So what does that look like?
So you might hear the term of PMD deal. Promotion, marketing, and distribution. So some artists would be like, oh, I'm not signed to a label. I'm not signed to a label. You know what I mean? And technically they're not signed, but you do have a distribution deal. So stop trying to take all the credit as if you're doing it independently with no help.
Right.
Because you can't. You can't. You're not gonna be mainstream without help from somewhere. You didn't do it independently. Yeah.
That makes sense. That does make sense. Yeah. So another type of deal that is very common that I hear about, and it usually got like a dark shadow over it, is a 360 deal. What is that?
Well, with the 360 deal, the label actually makes money from however you make money. And when I say however you make money, they're going to make money when your song plays on the radio. They're going to make money when you sell merchandise. They're going to make money when you go on tour. They're going to make money when you get a sponsorship, a brand partnership or brand sponsorship. So just say, for example, you team up with Sprite and now your face is on the side of Sprite. Instead of all that money coming to you, the label gets a percentage. The label actually gets a percentage of everything that you do. Okay. Now, whether or not like that's the deal you don't want to do or you do want to do, it just depends. It depends on how much effort the label is actually putting into you as well. It's not fair for the label to eat off of merch and they didn't even help you with the merch. Right. You get what I'm saying? It's not fair for them to eat off the brand partnerships and they didn't help you get that brand partnerships. But if they're helping get everything, then yeah, it's fair for them to get a percentage.
So is that a bad deal? Is a 360 deal a bad thing?
A 360 deal is not something I would recommend if the label is not helping you secure all those things. If you're the type of artist that's working your own stuff and you're making all of these moves for yourself, then you don't need a 360 deal. Why? It's like, why would you need a manager if you're the one that's booking all your shows?
That makes sense. That makes
why are you paying a manager if he's not booking anything? He didn't get you any of those shows. You got them yourself. Why is the label getting money off your tour if they didn't give you any money in the tour support budget? You know?
So
because some artists will go on tour by themselves without the label paying for it. If they're in a 360 deal, the label still gets money from that tour.
Yeah. Now you got
some artists print up their own merch. Yeah. Somebody prints up their own merch. Why is the label getting a percentage of the merch sales? They didn't help you print it.
Right. So can any person go into like a label and get a meeting and just kind of like talk about a deal? Or is this something they have to call you about?
No, you're not just going to be downstairs and then I'll be like, oh yeah, come inside. Now I have done that before, just being nice. Like I remember I ordered Uber Eats and the guy came and when he saw I was at Atlantic Records, oh my goodness, he was so excited and he rapped and he wanted to go inside. And I just felt like making his day that day. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, you want to come inside? Come inside. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But you can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm outside in the lobby and I want to go talk to somebody. Nah, those meetings, like those are requested meetings from the A&R or someone in that building that wants to meet with you. It's not about you wanting to meet with them.
Okay, I see. So if you're a small town artist that got like a legit following and you doing consistent numbers, like should you be like trying to reach out to an A&R to get in the studio? I mean, into a meeting, or is it like, what you think?
I think like if you want to, if you're trying to talk to somebody that's at the label, the best way to get that done is if you have an attorney that has those connects. Because your attorney, a music attorney, can make those phone calls because he got a Rolodex of people. He can call the label and be like, yo, I got this new client. This kid is fire, X, Y, and Z. You need to meet with him because Sony already sent me over a contract for him. You know what I mean? Or because Atlantic already sent over a contract for them. They're interested. This is the kid that you want. But you need to make sure that your social media and all that stuff is adding up. You need to make sure that when they go online, it's really legit. You need to make sure when they check your Spotify page, when they check your YouTube and all that stuff, you really got some legit numbers, you know? So, now, luckily for Roddy, when he got signed, Roddy only had like 8,000 followers, you know?
Yeah, but his YouTube was going crazy though, right?
I mean, it was cool, but when I say most labels want numbers, they want huge numbers. Yeah. They want some unbelievable type numbers. Yeah. You know?
And that's kind of what my next question is what are labels looking for? Does that answer just simply numbers?
Yeah, they base it off of numbers and off of streams. Okay. It's sad, but it's like, if you're not doing 1 million streams a week, you're not priority.
Right.
You know?
Right. That makes sense.
And that's 1 million streams a week. So I would be in these marketing meetings and we get the streams, and it's so messed up because it would be top mainstream artists. If they ain't getting 1 million streams a week, like we be sitting here quiet and embarrassed, like, ooh, I don't want them to get to me because now they about to ask me why my artist's numbers ain't high. You know? I see.
Okay, so look, I got a few more questions. I know you got to get back to it. So
no, you good. You got time.
Okay.
I'm not tripping.
All right, sweet. I wanted to know, like, with you working with a lot of the signed artists, not only, you know, independent artists, but being on the signed side of things, what's a mistake that you often see signed or upcoming artists making?
I see a lot of upcoming artists make the mistake of signing a contract out of excitement. I see a lot of upcoming artists, they don't do their research on the team that they're about to work with. So they sign with a label and they ain't even met the marketing team. They ain't even met their A&R. So they sign and then they get assigned an A&R person. They get assigned a marketing person. They get assigned a publicity person. But you don't even know like how you guys mesh. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you need to do your research on the company. If you check Atlantic Records, I don't believe there's any West Coast A&Rs. I don't think there's ever been any West Coast A&Rs. Born and raised in California? No. So I've seen success with West Coast artists at Interscope. You get what I'm saying?
Interscope is LA based.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Interscope, TDE, you know, YG, signed to Interscope. So depending on the type of artist you are, you need to research what artists like you have had success at which label. Yeah. You know? That's a mistake that's a mistake that a lot of artists make. It's like with me and my music, which label has had success working with an artist like me? Yeah, they have success working with sexually explicit rappers, but do they have success working with a female rap artist that's not sexually explicit? Yeah. Because then when I get over there, they may try to convert me to be like them. Yeah. And then it'll look like I'm not cooperating or I'm not doing what I need to do to be mainstream. When I need to just be me, because that's the reason why you signed me, because I was me. You get what I'm saying?
Labels have that kind of control over your image though, where it's like legally?
They have a lot of what do you mean by legally?
Like, all right, how you say, like, I understand you to not be like a sexually explicit artist, but it's like now that you signed to so-and-so, it's kind of like they got the kind of power that's like, you gotta
they're not gonna say you gotta do, but what they will say is what they suggest. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when they start coming with video treatments and all this type of stuff, or when they start telling me what type of song I need to do, and when I don't do it, then they'll tell me that's the reason it ain't working. And then the next thing I look up and it's no money in my budget. It's no money in my budget because they'll say I don't cooperate and they're not believing in my purpose and what I want to do. They don't think that my route will work. Right. You know?
I see.
Yeah.
And who is the person making these kind of calls inside of the label? Like, is it like the president, or is it like your A&R, or like who's making the kind of calls on what they suggest?
Well, it's the marketing team that needs to do what they feel will sell. Yeah. So it's like if I'm working at McDonald's and you give me this burger, I got to figure out ways to sell it. And I'm like, yo, for sure we got to put some cheese on this. You know, this burger is not going to sell without the cheese. And you need way more sauce. You know what I mean? Because this ain't it.
Okay.
You know, but shoot, the burger could be saying, I don't want no cheese. I'm a burger. I'm not a cheeseburger. I'm a burger.
There you
go. I got seasoned. Like this patty is seasoned. I'm like, nah, man, you need some cheese. You get what I'm saying?
That's a perfect analogy.
So then I'm like, shoot, well, if they want a cheeseburger, they better go get a cheeseburger because I'm a hamburger.
There you go. You know? There you go. Hey, that's pressure.
Ain't wrong with a hamburger or a cheeseburger. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. It depends on your preference. Both of them sell. Ain't no way you can tell me a hamburger don't sell, because if a hamburger didn't sell, they wouldn't have it on the menu.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
No cheeseburger without the hamburger.
Exactly. Without the hamburger?
Yeah.
Come on. Don't play with me.
Straight up. Wow, that was perfect. You conjured that up. You had that one waiting in your back pocket. But yeah. But there's plenty of ways to sell things. So it just depends on how creative your marketing person is as well. They got to come up with some bright ideas. Yeah. You know, everything can't be like the last thing. That's why everything is the same, because they keep doing everything like the last thing. You got to do something different. That's right. Well, I also want to know, how has your experience with working in the labels affected your decision making as an artist, you know, in your own career?
My experience of working in a label has had an effect on me as an artist, is because I'd rather like do as much as I can by myself without the help of a label.
Right.
I'd rather be able to do things without depending on a label, because if you depend on a label, it could definitely slow down your progress. Yeah. If you depend, you have to also remember that you have people that's passionate that work at a label, and you also have people that work at a label as a job. And some people that work at the label as a job, they will do the bare minimum just to keep their job. Yeah. Like there's a difference with pitching a song and really pushing a song. So when a song comes out, we put the song in a pitch tool. The pitch tool is what sends it to all the streaming platforms. The pitch tool is where you put the song in and you're hoping that you get on playlists. New Music Friday, it's lit, all that type of stuff. You could put it in the pitch tool, you did your job. You get what I'm saying? But if you're passionate about it, you're gonna push that song. You're gonna reach out and you're gonna be like, hey, I just submitted this song. You're gonna try to make sure the DJs have it. But at the end of the day, you can say, I put it in the pitch tool and you did your job, you know?
But it's different when you got somebody passionate behind it. It's like, no, like this, that pressure. Yeah, I see.
Yes, it's a huge difference, Spence, a huge difference. You got to make sure that the person that's A&R in your project actually believes in your message and loves your music. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like me, I'm not a fan of auto-tune. So if you're giving me some music with auto-tune, automatically I don't want to hear it. That's messed up. That could have been the best song of 2022. Yeah. And I done turned it off as soon as I heard that auto-tune.
Yeah, real talk.
You know?
Yeah. See, that's very interesting. I feel like you done dropped some very valuable gems on us today. That was so pressure. And
I'm glad I was able to.
Man, I'm glad that you made the time to hop on here and talk to us, man. T. Hey, y'all make sure that y'all go follow Lady T right now at Lady T 429. That's LADYTEE 429.
9, yeah.
And y'all look forward to more work. Go stream her album. It's out right now on all streaming platforms, strictly for my women. T, is there anything else that you think you want to say to the town before you leave?
That's it. Yeah, my album is out strictly for my women. It's an album that's aimed to motivate, inspire, and uplift women. Like every single song is doing just that. You know what I mean? It talks about being in your own lane, talked about demanding respect because we queens out here, we ain't bitches, you know? I feel like that's like an over glorified word in hip hop, and I just hate that. But yeah, y'all gotta go listen to that album. It's the timeless album, and I'm not just saying it because I put it out. I'm saying it because that's really what it is. And I want people to know too, it's a huge difference between making an album and making a playlist. But that's something else that we'll talk about, because with an album, you gotta be able, can you sum up your album and tell what it's about? You know what I mean? Yeah. A playlist is just song after song after song, but what was your album about? What was the overall message of your album? That's another thing. You also got to make sure that you stand out. You also got to make sure that you have a brand that represents yourself. People need to know what you stand for as an artist. Because to be honest, when I do bio interviews and I ask artists, like, what's one thing that makes you different from the rest? Everybody rapping about the same stuff. And I'd be like, yo, hold up. Because I listen to your project and you rapping about the same stuff. You rapping about the same stuff. You rapping about the same exact stuff. So we're going to have to work on that answer. You know what I mean? But this is where you stand out and you're really different. That's what I would say.
That's right. Well, hey, man, like I said, y'all go follow Lady T right now. A very valuable person to know. Plenty of inspirational content being uploaded. Man, T, I appreciate you being on the podcast.
It was a pleasure. I can't wait to do the next one. I have fun with you, Spence.
Yeah, we definitely gonna have to do another one for sure.
All right, holla at me.
All right, see you later.